Your top 5 wrestlers. These are guys that are horrible as wrestlers, but you could sit there and watch them over and over.
I mean, there's guys that, like, I thought about this because there's people that would say The Miz is a horrible wrestler, and I don't agree with that at all. But I can respect if you think that, you know. So let's just be.
But do you enjoy Miz because he's a horrible wrestler? Then yes, he is a horrible wrestler. But if you enjoy Miz for things he does well,
no, I think Miz does a lot of things really well.
But are you enjoying it?
Not a whole lot.
There we go.
But like, I think there's examples of really good Miz matches that I can be like, I would sit there and watch that over again. Like that was good. So, but anyway, he's not in. I'll start off, but my top 5.
Wait,
worst
Miz
wrestlers.
wasn't in that?
No, he's not.
Well,
Because
you
I
made
think
a whole
I don't.
spiel that he
Yeah,
was.
because I was saying some people say he's a horrible wrestler. I don't.
Okay.
But the Boogeyman. I love the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
I love a gimmick like that. You know, I'll never forget when he ate the growth off of Jillian Hall's face on SmackDown. Do you remember that?
Yes.
He eat off
Yeah.
of her face?
She had growth.
She got a growth. So, do you remember Jillian Hall? She was with JBL in the cabinet, and
Oh, okay. Well, let me interject for a second. There's a part of my life that I just stopped watching wrestling for a little bit, and that's like in the mid 2000s. But I do know some.
Okay,
I
so,
know
but
the Boogeyman. I know all
anyway,
that.
Jillian Hall was around for a little while.
Yeah.
At one point, she had a gimmick where this is so Vince McMahon. She had a growth on her face that was just this like gross red mass that ran down her face, and the Boogeyman ate it. So.
What do you say to that?
I say that my number 2 is Chris Masters. I like Chris Masters. I like the Master Lock Challenge. The dude's pecs were fucking unbelievable. Like, they were bowling balls. His deltoids were fucking unreal. Chris Masters was great. I thought he was going to be a lot bigger than he ended up being. Number 3, Road Dogg. Road Dogg.
I like him.
Objectively a horrible wrestler. He had like 3 moves and the bad Dusty Rhodes punches.
Yes, yeah.
His physique was terrible.
He was a great rapper, though.
He was very pale and he looked sickly for most of the Attitude Era, but he was really entertaining. So yeah, that's and then I've got Viscera, Big Daddy V,
That's a good one.
Mabel.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
one.
don't really. I did not care for him as Mabel. Mabel's fucking boring. Let's be real here. Mabel sucks. But when he came back, Viscera in the Ministry.
Yes.
This dude, like, come on. He
just
looked like
stood there.
Fat Morpheus. Like, he was. This guy was so entertaining. His splash looked like it would literally kill you. So that's Viscera, and then number 5. I like the Brooklyn Brawler. I'm a Brooklyn Brawler guy.
Yeah.
Classic.
When he beat Triple H, that was fucking great. And
Brooklyn Brawler.
yeah, there's no better jobber than the Brooklyn Brawler.
Jeez.
So
So my, like, considered worst wrestlers that you would enjoy. Number 5 would be the Great Khali. Just big for nothing, tall. The only thing that I really like watching was when he just squishes people's heads. But it's not the way how it was not the Khali doing it. It was watching the reaction off of the wrestlers playing this off as if their heads getting crushed.
Squeeze Ray's head? They had like a blood pack, like he had like blood coming out of his mouth.
But it covered Ray's whole head. So it was like Great Khali was just like one of those. And then you remember the one what he did with the what was it? The bamboo match?
Oh, the Punjabi prison.
The Punjabi prison match. Yeah. That was a good one and
He
done.
didn't even wrestle in that.
It was just weird.
It was supposed to be him and Undertaker, and then they had this weird thing going on. I think it had to do with the steroids everybody was taking, where he tested positive for liver enzymes before the show. It was like him and Bobby Lashley and a few other guys, and they all couldn't wrestle at the pay-per-view. And they've been building up this Taker and Great Khali feud. It doesn't make any sense that anyone else would have a match with Taker in this, Indian gimmick they have going on. But they put the Big Show in there. And they had Taker versus Big Show in the first ever Punjabi prison match. It's great. Go watch it.
Now, number 4 would be Goldberg.
Yeah.
I think Goldberg's bad.
Yeah,
I do.
It's horrible. Watch Goldberg fight William Regal in a 6-minute match.
I did.
You
That's
can
not,
see
I
that
saw,
Goldberg
I
didn't know how to
saw
wrestle.
the online
I
circle
think
jerk about this recently.
the one thing
all
about
right.
Goldberg.
I'm sorry, but William Regal was so unprofessional to do
Oh,
that.
but he's a wrestler.
He was so unprofessional to do that.
No,
to,
he
to
fucking
your,
called him
to
out.
your,
He's
to
gonna
your
stand
money,
there?
your
Is he gonna
draw.
stand there with Goldberg, just like
Goldberg
and
is
this house
a
Goldberg
star.
nothing?
I don't think he was a draw by then, was he?
He was on the way up. He was a U.S. champion already. Okay, so he was
Yeah,
on the
but
way.
The only reason why he became
was
a
months
star
away. I think he
is
was like
because
3
they
months
gave
away
him the
from-
record, and they start, well, oh, he's 3-0, oh, he's 5-0, oh,
But
he's 10-0.
all right, I watched that match when it was going around, and I was like, yeah,
You think
I'm
Goldberg
sorry,
is a
but
good
I think
wrestler?
Goldberg is hanging with him here.
No,
Like,
no,
yes.
no.
I think
You
there's
back me
more
up
to
on
it.
this
Wait,
one.
No, Goldberg's terrible. I don't really.
I mean, the only reason why I like Goldberg to watch him is the way how he injures himself
yeah.
in wrestling matches.
Listen, the best Goldberg match of all time is Hogan and Goldberg.
Hell yeah, that is fucking
Yeah,
great.
and that was all Hogan. You could just tell Hogan was just like, "Let me guide you to the glory."
Let me show you, son.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
And
it's
that's
like,
it wasn't like I don't know what else besides. Listen, I love a good Goldberg squash match next to the next guy, but like other than that, like would you have? Didn't he have an okay match with Sid and maybe an okay match with DDP, and then everything else he's known for is fuck ups.
Yeah.
Like you can't have that many highlight reel fuck ups and be that famous and not be known as a shitty wrestler. You know, even like guys that aren't like good athletes, I mean good quote unquote wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, aren't known for fucking things up the way Goldberg is known for fucking things up. So to say you can enjoy a good Goldberg squash match, yes, but you can also say he's a bad wrestler because he's hurt a lot of people.
Like
my
who?
number 3 would be.
Like who? You talked the Undertaker.
Listen,
You watched the whole Undertaker.
No, I was wondering if there was someone
Take the L.
specific that you had in mind
listen,
that Goldberg had
Taker
hurt.
match was the one that Goldberg gave himself a concussion
That
by
was
running
fucking
it.
terrible.
Yeah.
But that was
And then he
funny.
gave Undertaker a
But
concussion.
you know what? That was one of the most entertaining matches I've ever seen for all the wrong
That's
reasons.
why I
They
feel
were
like Goldberg-
unbelievable.
And this is a
All
wrong
the wrong
reasons
reasons.
list.
Yeah.
This is a wrong reasons list.
My number 3 would be Santino Morella.
I don't know.
I feel like he was more of a comedian than a
But he
wrestler.
did
Like,
everything
I
right.
love,
But he's
well,
not like a bad wrestler.
I think
He's actually really, you know, like.
you know,
I think
was
you're just
This
because
is
he's a
a tough
comedy
one,
actor.
though. I think
see
that's
where-
why,
I
yes.
see where you could, yeah.
It was putting a puppet sock on. And
Yeah,
like,
but
you know,
he's
just
really
like,
good at that.
I mean,
know,
Mick Foley
his
was good at
movements
putting on a
are-
sock. Yeah.
I mean,
But I know what you mean.
When
He's-
Santino was in the final 2 of the Royal Rumble, though, do you remember?
Yeah.
Del Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the 2 names we just said that was in the final of the Royal Rumble. You know that was a bad
I
year
know,
for
but
WWE.
everybody was like, for a minute there, they were like, "Holy shit, Santino's going to
They
win."
should have
People
done it
were
that
going
year.
nuts. People were
Because
losing.
Del Rio won that year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
who cares?
It was very boring.
Number 2, Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman's not bad.
He's
Steve
kinda
Blackman.
He's kinda
you
bad.
watch any
The
Steve Blackman.
Lethal Weapon? He's
Listen,
kinda
listen.
bad.
You watch any lethal. You know, you're making me say it now. Any Steve Blackman match. It looks like a scene from an action movie.
Yeah.
The way how he always did everything. So the song he came out to was like a techno afro song.
Sick,
Right?
sick entrance.
And then for 5, well, I'm exaggerating, but for like 5 minutes he would stand there with these sticks in his hands,
Yeah.
just twirling them around
Yeah.
as everybody just watches him.
Right.
And then with a face of stone cold, no emotion, walk down and do a 15-minute movie scene.
Right. Right.
That was Steve Blackman.
Did you
Alright,
actually
but look-
watch Steve Blackman matches though to this day because you enjoy or you just listen?
I like. the way
I put
Blackman
on a
moves
couple
in
last
there.
night just to make sure I was right about this, and I was.
You
I
know,
was
you're not
right.
the first person to say rewatch some Steve Blackman because what it was explained to me is like he lands some shots that you don't think he's like are supposed to be pro wrestler shots. And
It was an action movie. You know, he probably watched the Jackie Chan movie before he came out to have a fight.
I won't allow any head cheese slander over here, though, if we're gonna get to that.
Oh yeah,
So,
right.
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Number 1, Vince McMahon.
Fair enough.
He was a horrible wrestler, but you just love to watch him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a horrible wrestler, but he's been in some good matches.
He has
Yeah, because
great
everybody
Not
aura.
because of
cared.
him,
Yeah.
I
It's-
guess.
No.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, no, not a good wrestler.
I think Vince
But he's
was
been in good
he's
matches.
one of the
Yeah.
worst wrestlers, but you enjoy.
But Goldberg was in a great match with Hogan, like I said. So you don't have to be a great
Yes.
wrestler to have a great match.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but name how many great Goldberg matches are there?
I named them.
I think
there's
we
not-
can
there's
do
not a lot of great
we can do a whole
Goldberg matches.
podcast about Goldberg.
Yeah. I just think people want to hate on Bill Goldberg.
It's not like you want.
I know. I
There's
can honestly
evidence.
say a lot of people I knew who grew up watching wrestling organically started to hate Goldberg in WCW, and then it just never ended. So I think I don't. Could it be part of a trend now to hate Goldberg? Sure, but he doesn't do himself any favors. He's a little bit of a douchebag.
You ever see his interviews now?
He's a little cringe.
No.
Very, very like, oh yeah, I'm Goldberg, blah 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 blah, like horrible, like.
Yeah, he's very
Yeah.
Goldberg. But yeah, Vince McMahon, I mean, he had some, undeniably memorable moments. I mean, he's just like, he's just,
Well, it wasn't
he has
even
two
a
left
match.
feet in the ring, though. That's
Or
what
he
it is.
tore both of his quads by getting
Yeah.
into the ring.
Right. But,
Who would you got, Eric?
so, I'm going to open up with Mark Henry. I am not... Exactly. Mark
You don't
Henry.
like him, Mark Henry? You think he's a really bad wrestler?
No, he's a good.
Oh,
wrestler.
okay, good,
This is a
good.
bad
Yeah,
wrestler
yeah, it's
list.
like-
This is
isn't
a
it?
bad. Mark Henry's a bad wrestler.
No, he's not.
Really?
Like, how many matches are you watching with Mark Henry? For like, if you're going, I was like, hey, I want to watch a good match tonight.
Just
I'm gonna put on
because,
Mark Henry. Come on. All
right.
But I enjoy him. I'm saying he's a bad
just
wrestler
because
that
I can't
enjoy.
remember like any Mark, I can tell you that his run as world
champ.
champion was really good. I liked that. I
Sexual
can't
chocolate.
remember any individual matches, but at the same time, I mean, how's he a bad? I'll give you this. I did not like Mark Henry for the first 10 years of his career. I don't think he hit his stride until 2006.
All right. My next one is Sid. He is my favorite bad wrestler of all time.
I love that. That's great.
Sid is my all-time favorite bad wrestler. He stabbed people in the back and then powerbomb people in the ring. Number 3, I'm gonna throw out Doink the Clown. Does he count as a bad wrestler?
It was all gimmick, no wrestling, basically.
I mean,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
You're talking about like the Matt Bourne.
Yeah.
Matt Bourne was a good wrestler.
It was I thought
but
Doink the Clown.
character is like, no, not really a good wrestler.
I thought they just needed to
good
give him
psychology.
longer.
Like,
He should, if he was a heel, and Matt Bourne, well, I think something happened with him where he couldn't do it
Yeah.
anymore. If they could have kept him a heel for another year or two, I think they would have had gold. I really do.
I like Doink.
My next one would be, is he a bad?
Don't second guess it.
Is Scott Norton a bad wrestler?
Scott
Yes,
Norton.
Scott Norton
Jeez.
sucks.
Okay, I like Scott
The
Norton
worst part of the NWO.
because he had the barrel chest. He had the
sucked.
biggest chest in pro
He
wrestling.
went to Japan though.
Yeah, he
after
was a big
Doug,
Japan.
right? He
His
was
matches
good,
in Japan
yeah.
are a lot better.
I'm sure.
Because he's the type of guy, if he can't beat the fuck out of you, he's not going to have a good match.
I fucking hated Scott. Norton.
And then my last one, it's a little bit of
That's
a...
a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, because he's
Scott
a fucking
Norton.
black hole of charisma. He's terrible.
Scott Flash Norton.
Yeah.
That was his nickname.
Yeah.
Flash Norton.
Flash.
And I'm just going to say Big Show. I'm a big fan of the Big Show punch, the slow-moving punch.
Yeah.
You know, he reminds me of an even bigger King Kong Bundy, who also sucked. You know, so but like I just like, he just sucked. But like, he's such an attraction that it just, you're like, all right, this is acceptable. Like everything he sucked at, you're like, all right, okay, I can watch this.
Every Big Show promo that I ever watched with him talking was always my favorite because the amount of spit that this guy gave off on camera was like, go and watch a Big Show, watch him talk when he's angry.
I have a memory that I can't tell if I made it up in my head or if this actually happened on a Raw. Maybe you guys maybe you remember this, but where they were doing like a Big Show promo and he got so mad that steam came out of his ears.
What?
Do you have any recollection
No.
of this?
I don't, but I want to.
No.
All right,
I want to.
I'm going to look this up later, but I have this in my head, and I'm like, that definitely happened, right? But I'm also like, how did they do that? What was the practical
Right.
effect that they used? But Big Show.